dead rat in a McDonald's salad, maggots in a Big Mac burger, and a chicken's head in a chicken nugget. Here are 10 disgusting things found in McDonald's meals. Number 10. Dead rat salad. Usually when you order a meal at McDonald's, you expect things like beef, chicken, or fish. But what if you got something you were not expecting? In 2006, Todd Haley, the assistant coach of the Dallas Cowboys, went to a McDonald's and ordered a salad. He got it and drove home to his wife and babysitter. The two women opened the salad halfway and dug into it. But when they finally tore off the rest of the wrap, they found meat they didn't ask for next to the salad leaves. A dead rat dead on their plate. Excuse us while we go puke up last night's dinner. The rat was 6 inches long and the women were horrified. They believed they may have gotten sick from eating the food. Todd rang the McDonald's restaurant, which caused the manager to investigate the incident. But Todd and his wife were not happy with how the manager handled the situation, so they took McDonald's to court for $1.7 million. But before the case went to court, McDonald's met with and settled with the Haleys. That's us signing off from McDonald's for the rest of the day. Number 9. Big Mac maggots. Next we go to Melbourne, Australia for the story of Lee Savage. In 2011, he ordered a Big Mac from a McDonald's restaurant with extra pickles. After getting home, Lee took apart his burger to see if they had added the extra pickles he asked for. But what he found instead were maggots. I think I'm gonna puke again. Lee counted up to 30 maggots just about their business in the meat. So he took the matter to his restaurant, who at first laughed at him. Then when they saw he was serious, they wanted to take the meat to a lab to have it checked. Lee was pretty mad. All he wanted was an apology and a refund from the McDonald's restaurant so he could be on his way. He also got in touch with the police, but they said they couldn't help. So we can tell you for sure that Lee never ate at McDonald's again. Number 8. Chicken head nuggets. One story that made the news about McDonald's food was about a mother who took her 2 kids to the restaurant for some Happy Meals and fries and a burger. After eating, the mother found that her kids hadn't eaten some of the chicken nuggets, so she decided to try them. But what did she find instead? The head of a chicken, deep fried like a nugget. The restaurant manager apologized and said the meal was on the house, with 2 weeks of free meals too. But the mother was not buying it. Then in 2007, she took McDonald's to court for $100,000. So how did the McDonald's staff not figure out that the chicken heads didn't look like wings or thighs? I guess the cook didn't pay enough attention while in the kitchen. If you think these were disgusting, now we're gonna take a look at a chewing gum that slipped into a burger, buns, and gum for meat. Number 7. Chewed gum patty. How do you make a burger if you don't have meat? Well, let's find out. The year is 2007, and Max Apinza from Vancouver, Canada just ordered a big extra burger. It's lunchtime at work, and Max bites into his burger. But instead of tasty meat and juices moving around in his mouth, he tastes peppermint. Weird choice for a meat taste, right? Max didn't feel good about the taste, so he spat it out and opened the burger. His meat patty had been replaced with chewing gum. Max was terrified and hurried to the hospital for fear that he could get a disease from the already eaten gum. He believed someone ruined his food on purpose. After hearing this story, McDonald's Canada said they would look into the matter with health officials, but Max was done. He said he'd be making his own lunch and taking it to work. Who can blame him? Number 6. Bugs in fries. You'd think that Happy Meals are supposed to bring joy to kids, but you'd be wrong. Sometimes toys aren't the only things McDonald's gets wrong. In 2010, an 18-year-old girl named Haley Parsons went to a McDonald's drive-thru in South London, United Kingdom. She got one of the popular items on the menu and drove off to eat in her car. After eating some fries, she looked into the bag to see something moving around on her fries. When she looked closely, she saw that they were bugs. Haley threw the fries away, but managed to catch one of the bugs to take back to the McDonald's staff. When health officers were brought in to check the case, they found no bugs in the drive-thru or anything wrong. They said the bugs probably got in the fries when she was eating or driving. However, McDonald's apologized to Haley for the accident. But that was it for the poor girl. She said she wouldn't eat at the fast food restaurant again. Number 5. Band-Aid. How do you like your fries? With a side of Band-Aid, no doubt. No? Well, that's new. Laura Coleman, a University of Illinois senior, went to Illini Union's McDonald's for some fries in 2005. After getting her meal, she sat down to eat when she found something weird on her fries. It was a used Band-Aid. Lauren was horrified and called the manager instantly. The restaurant refunded Lauren for the meal and gave her another meal on the house. After some searching, the owner of the Band-Aid was a staff member with an injury. They apologized to Lauren, who didn't press on with the issue after that. When the story got out, Lauren said the Illini Union's McDonald's wasn't the best or neatest restaurant on the campus, but it was the only McDonald's, so eating there was taking a risk. That's not a good way to describe a fast food restaurant. Number 4, nail. McDonald's is one of the biggest fast food restaurants in the world. They can be found almost anywhere, even at the North Pole. Looks like even Santa didn't want to miss out on the food. Anyway, since McDonald's has to run so many restaurants, everybody has a different restaurant experience. But none more so than a 47-year-old man in Hisingen, just on the outskirts of Gothenburg, Sweden. Yusuf Bertel got a burger from a nearby McDonald's in 2010. Then, as he took a bite out of his meal, he found a rather uncomfortable ingredient, a nail. The metal nail pierced his gum and was stuck between his teeth. After trying for a while, Yusuf finally took out the nail. After that, he threw up. Yusuf was mad about the nail, imagining what would have happened had he given the burger to one of his kids instead. After taking the complaint to McDonald's, the staff didn't have any explanation for Yusuf. Even they were shocked by the story. Soon after, the McDonald's restaurant started looking into the matter and even reached out to their suppliers. They apologized to Yusuf for the problem, but he was already done with them. He vows to make his burgers from home from now on. Starting now, things get serious. It's now time to look at a needle in a double cheeseburger, a wire brush chicken legend, and finally, the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in a child's fries. Number 3, needle burger. Go 2 years back in 2008 and we find an even more disgusting and dangerous object in someone's food. A 14-year-old girl from Reading, Massachusetts ordered a double cheeseburger. But upon taking a bite from the burger, she found a piece of metal about an inch in length. She immediately called the restaurant's attention, and health officials were brought in to take a look. They found that the object was part of a syringe or veterinary needle that got into the McDonald's restaurant from a meat factory in Ohio. They believed it may have come from an animal getting an injection before turning it into meat. So McDonald's released a statement telling the public that they were concerned about the matter. They still couldn't find how the needle got into the burger and was still doing their best to find out. In the end, though, McDonald's stopped getting their meat from the Ohio factory, so at least they did something this time. The girl in turn was sent to the hospital to make sure she didn't get any injuries or infections. Number 2, wire brush. It was a great day in Kidderminster, England in 2010. The sun was shining, the wind is in Bret Stephens' hair, and a McDonald's just happened to be nearby. So what does he do? He walks in to make an order. "A chicken legend sandwich, please," he tells the person behind the counter. They fetch his meal and ring him up. Bret looks happy. He takes his food home. Nothing prepared him for the shock of his life when he found a wire brush in the meat of his sandwich. It wasn't an electrical wire, it was a wire brush with a sharp, pointy end. It was at least 5 inches in length. Janet, Bret's mother, could not understand why the fast food chain wanted to hurt her son. She was mad and took the matter to the restaurant. But what did she get instead? No one cared. According to Janet, the bosses at the restaurant laughed at her, and she didn't even want to take them to court. All she wanted was for them to change the bad food. But that was obviously too much to ask. After the incident started to float everywhere, McDonald's came out to say how they actually care about the quality and safety of their meals. They finally apologized to Bret and his mother. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Number 1, condom. Usually when people eat at restaurants, they expect to get the food they ordered, so they don't want any nasty surprises. Well, that wasn't the case for a 7-year-old girl in 2009. The incident happened in Switzerland after the girl found a condom with her fries. Thankfully, she didn't try to eat it or find out what it was and took it and showed her mother. The mom was terrified and called the police, and so began an investigation to find out how the item got there and whether it was used. McDonald's refused to say anything about the case. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon.